What were you doing at 21? Going to college parties, working your first job, while you were figuring out life. These people were building billion-dollar empires. I'm talking about the youngest self-made billionaires on the planet. Some of them aren't even old enough to rent a car in some states. And here's the crazy part. They didn't inherit it. They didn't get lucky. They just saw something the rest of us missed. Stick around, because what you're about to hear will completely change how you think about age, success, and what's actually possible. Here's the thing that nobody talks about. Most Americans spend their 20s trying to pay off student debt. The average person doesn't become a millionaire until they're 57 years old. 57. But there's a new generation that completely flipped the script. They're not waiting. They're not following the old playbook. And they're definitely not asking for permission. In this video, I'm going to show you 5 people under 25 who became billionaires, or built companies worth billions, in industries that didn't even exist 10 years ago. And if you think this is just about being smart or lucky, you're wrong. Before we dive in, hit that subscribe button, because we break down stories like this every single week. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Let's go. So here's the uncomfortable truth. While most of us are told to go to school, get good grades, climb the corporate ladder for 20 years, there are people who are skipping all of that. And they're not just skipping it, they're lapping us. In 2024, the number of self-made billionaires under 30 hit an all-time high, most of them in AI and crypto. Think about that for a second. These industries didn't even exist when these people were born. Ethereum launched in 2015. ChatGPT 2022. The entire AI boom basically started yesterday. And yet, somehow, while the world was still figuring out what these technologies even mean, a handful of 20-year-olds were already building the future. Here's what blows my mind. These aren't trust fund kids. These aren't people who inherited daddy's company. These are college dropouts, immigrants, kids who taught themselves to code in their bedroom. So the question is, what do they see that we don't? And more importantly, why does age suddenly not matter anymore? Let me show you. Let's start with Alexandr Wang. At 19 years old, he dropped out of MIT, one of the best schools on the planet, to start a company called Scale AI. His idea: help AI companies label data faster and better. Sounds boring, right? Wrong. Turns out every single AI model, from ChatGPT to self-driving cars, needs massive amounts of labeled data to work. And Alexandr built the best platform in the world to do it. By the time he turned 25, Scale AI was valued at over $7 billion. He became the youngest self-made billionaire in America. But here's the part that gets me. He didn't invent AI. He didn't create some magical algorithm. He just asked himself, what does AI actually need to grow? And while everyone else was trying to build the flashiest product, Alexandr built the infrastructure. That's the difference between trying to be the star and being the person who builds the stage. Next up, Lucy Guo. She co-founded Scale AI with Alexandr Wang when she was just 21 years old. Before that, she dropped out of Carnegie Mellon, worked at Quora, and decided she was done working for other people. Here's where it gets wild. Lucy left Scale AI early, before it became a billion-dollar company. Most people would see that as a failure. But because she held on to her equity, when Scale AI exploded, so did her net worth. She became the youngest self-made female billionaire in the world. And she didn't stop there. She went on to invest in over 30 startups, became a venture capitalist, and started building her own companies. Here's the lesson. It's not about staying in one place. It's about owning a piece of something that can grow without you. Lucy didn't need to be the CEO forever. She just needed to be smart enough to get in early and hold on. Now let's talk about Vitalik Buterin. At 19 years old, he created Ethereum, the second largest cryptocurrency in the world. By 21, he was a billionaire. But here's what's insane. Vitalik didn't just create digital money. He created an entire operating system for decentralized applications. Today, Ethereum powers everything from NFTs to DeFi to smart contracts that move billions of dollars every single day. And Vitalik? He still lives in a modest apartment, wears the same hoodie, doesn't own a Lambo. He didn't do this for the money. He did it because he believed the financial system was broken, and he wanted to fix it. That's the difference. Most people chase wealth. These people, they chase problems worth solving. And the wealth, it just follows. And finally, let's talk about Surya, Narayanan, Midha, and Adarsh Hiremath. These two, they're 21 and 22 years old, and they co-founded an AI startup that recently hit $1 billion valuation. Here's what's different about them. They're not solo geniuses, they're a team. And that's the new model. The old billionaire story was always one visionary guy in a garage. But this generation, they're building together. They're leveraging AI tools, remote teams, and open source technology to move faster than anyone ever has before. What used to take 20 years now takes 2. That's not luck, that's leverage. And if you're in your 20s right now, sitting there thinking I'm too young or I don't have enough experience, these people are proof that you're wrong. Age is no longer the barrier. Speed is the advantage. Okay, let's break down what all of these people have in common. 1. They didn't wait for permission. They dropped out, took risks, and moved fast. 2. They didn't chase money. They chased problems. Big, unsolved, world-changing problems. 3. They leveraged new technology, AI, crypto, platforms that didn't exist 10 years ago. 4. They understood equity. It's not about salary. It's about ownership. And 5, they didn't let age define them. Nobody told them they were too young, or if they did, they didn't listen. So here's my question for you. What's your excuse? These people didn't have special degrees. They didn't have connections. Most of them didn't even have money. They just had an idea and the guts to go all in. Now look, I'm not saying you need to drop out of school tomorrow and start $1 billion company. But I am saying this, the rules have changed. You don't need to wait until you're 40. You don't need 20 years of experience. You don't need permission. You just need to start. So here's what I want you to do. Drop a comment below and tell me, which of these stories hit you the hardest? And what's one idea you've been sitting on that you're finally going to act on? I read every single comment. And who knows, maybe your story will be in the next video. If this opened your eyes, smash that like button and subscribe, because we're just getting started. Thanks for watching. Now go build something.